Another wonderful WrestleRoni for me and for you, coming from us season 2 on Troma Now, Gringo Fantastico. God bless it, man. Disasterpiece Theater. I'm not going to make you keep redoing these retakes. We're just out the gate. He knows the name of his show. He's going to tell you about it. Also, has a wrestling podcast, Headlines, Headlocks, and Hijinks, with the great heel turtleneck, Gringo Fantastico. What's the name of your show, and what's going on with you?
All right, so the show on Troma Now, we're on season 2 now. Just premiered August 1st, and we're going to have one release every single month on the 1st. Fantastico Disasterpiece Theater. Basically, I'm Troma's version of, I don't know, a horror host. And I don't want to make comparisons to other horror hosts because they'll be like, yeah, right, dude. But like I basically kind of like Joe Bob, kind of like Elvira, kind of like Sammy Terry locally here, kind of like, just the several horror hosts throughout the Sven Gulli, that kind of thing. That's what I do. Fantastical Disasterpiece Theater on Troma Now.
Troma Now. I've been watching it since it was before it was on Troma Now either, and I can't say the name of the damn show. I'm too excited. I was watching it before Troma hit.
All the YouTube days.
The good old days. Well, hell no, these got to be better than that. You're living it up now. Season 2 just came out. How we feeling right now about things?
Pretty good. We just had an article in Fangoria about it, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a couple other articles come out. The reviews have been positive. We've been getting, I think, the last review we got, we had 4.2 out of 5.
Nice.
I'll take it. You know what I mean? I didn't expect to get 5. I try to do the best I can, but I'm always like, you know what? If it's above 3, I'm good.
Right?
I'll take a 3-star match over a 2-star match.
For sure, man. And people's been wanting, a show with Troma movies. We had, Edge TV back in the day and the UK show and the Ups All Nights. But after Joe Bog came back, there's a lot of interest in horror hosts again. So why not you? Why not Gringo Fantastico? And all your skills, your animations, your Francois. I'm all for it. I am. Tell me about some of the fun you had shooting this season.
Oh man, it was a 10-day shoot for the whole season, which is, in some aspects it's really quick, and in others are like that's kind of long. It depends on who you talk to, because I know like the Asylum, they shoot movies in like 6 days.
Right.
But it was a 10-day shoot, and we had a lot of really cool guests this season. We have Jonah Ray from Mystery Science Theater coming on. We have the Addams Family from Addams Family Films and the band Hellbender. They actually came on in person, which was really cool. They're great people, wonderful friends of mine, who have a movie coming out called Where the Devil Roams on Tubi here pretty soon, which is rad.
Sweet.
Rad as hell. And we have, we have C. Robert Cargill coming on the show, who wrote Doctor Strange, and he wrote The Black Phone and Sinister. Jeez. And he's a good friend of mine. He's coming on this season. And Brendan Patrizzo from The Asylum. He made Devil's Triangle and Monster Hunters. And finally, the man, my luchador arch nemesis, who has come back from my past to try to finish off the job that he did so long ago, giving me all these concussions, and Ophidian from Chikara, Ophidian the Cobra. And he makes his way back to the Tromaville Rec Center this season. He actually was really cool. He made this mask I have on right now. He made it for me.
Good work, Ophidian. I saw you also had him on the podcast recently as well, right?
Yep, we had him on last week, and just to talk some wrestling and talk some, just about the product and stuff like that. Because because I need to have some kind of counterbalance to my negativity, because I love wrestling so much that when some of the stuff they do, it just ticks me off to the point where I'm just like, I just freak related another counterbalance.
We're such a positive show. Whenever you started saying that, my internet went out, so I don't know anything you said as far as like negative about wrestling.
Oh.
My internet just said, "Nope, ain't happening. We ain't talking bad about wrestling on here." But
Yeah,
I
no.
think I got your point.
Yeah, it's not. It's not that I hate it. It's not that my problem is that I want it to succeed so much,
Mm-hmm.
like on any aspect. Like I have no problems with any of the promotions. I love AEW. I have a lot of friends who are there.
Mm-hmm.
I have some friends in NXT, and so I want all of it to be good. Like, and it's not the wrestlers that I get mad at; it's the writers and the bookers that
I
I
feel
get
it.
mad at.
Yep.
So, um, and it's like I said, there's some really good talent that I would love to just see rise above, um, and they're starting to do it a little bit, but there's guys like Drew Gulak who, holy crap,
Mm-hmm.
that guy could be a main eventer easily, and they don't do anything with him, and it's upsetting.
I get it. Do you think guys like Drew Gulak, which I agree, I wish he would be given his flowers in public, but let's say that day never comes and his point is just to be a coach and make these guys better. So, can you be happy? Can you know what I mean? Like, does that give you any sort of fulfillment, or do we need him getting his due on television as well? What do you think about that sort of thing?
I think that if he's happy with what he's doing,
Mm-hmm.
then that's probably. I mean, that'd be fine. It's
But
just
still, I'm sure there's other fans like yourself. I watched him in Evolved. I know about my catch point and all that. I'd like to see more. So I don't know.
like I don't. He doesn't need to be like a main eventer. I just like to see him more. You know what
Right.
I mean? So, and in AEW, there's I want to see more of certain things and less of certain things. It's just an opinion. Like I said, it's like I'm not trashing any of it. It's just I have strong opinions about the product in general.
Right
And
on. What do we need to see less of in AEW? You got me curious.
uh, I think that one of the things that I've always thought was what someone had that sign. The women's division there. They have so much good talent in there. They don't do anything with it.
They're lost. They've been
Yeah,
lost.
yeah, and like it's good. I'm a big Ruby fan because I went when she was coming up through the Indies. I was on a lot of shows with her too,
Okay.
and so anytime she's on, I absolutely love it. But as far as AEW goes, like there's certain things that I would like them to change. Is for me as an older fan, and
Mm-hmm.
like I'm the younger fans love it. I'm much, but I can't. And like I said, it's probably just my age, but I can't follow everything. It's bouncing around everywhere, and it's like, okay, I just want to see just a match. Give me a match. One of
Right.
the coolest things, on a positive note, one of the coolest things I saw the other day, a couple of weeks ago on AEW, was I got to see Keith Lee be Keith Lee again,
Yeah. Right.
and I was so happy. I was in my living room and I was watching, and I'm like, oh, holy crap, it's Keith Lee. It's the Keith Lee that I love. Like, it's so cool to get to see him like he picked up Orange and or he picked up Darby Allin and just launched him
Right.
across the ring like he was a rag doll.
Uh
Like,
huh.
and I'm like, that, like, remember the moment it was a few years ago at the Royal Rumble. Brock Lesnar's throwing
Yeah.
everybody out, and then Keith Lee's music hits, and Keith Lee comes down to the ring, and Brock just like kind of staggers back a little bit and gives like,
Uh
ooh,
huh.
like, and I was like, oh, you just made Keith Lee,
Yeah.
like that alone just made him like, and I was so excited, and that's the kind of thing. Like, I'm a big Keith Lee fan, and so I'd like to see him do a lot more. I know that he kind of had some bad health issues because when
Yeah.
he got COVID and kind of messed him up a little bit, but
Yeah, he can go, man. I'm sure he will. He's back at that level and stuff. So there should be good things if they use him right. A lot of folks are pissed about SummerSlam. How you feeling about that SummerSlam main event?
uh, about how it ended.
I'm all for it, but you tell me how you feel.
uh, I didn't get it.
Okay.
Like and I'm trying not to sound like I know everything because I obviously don't know everything. But if I would have written that in my my screenwriting master's program, I would have probably got a D
Okay.
because it doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm sure that they're going to explain it and do something with it, but to me, to me, it was just kind of just lazy. I was just like, you guys could have done something more than that. But that's my personal preferences, and it has nothing to do with how everybody else sees things. Because, like I said, if the people who love it, I mean, that's great. Good for you. I'm glad that you're enjoying wrestling. That's better for everybody. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah, I'll say I
yeah,
enjoyed it because it shocked me, but I hope there's some substance to it. You know, like this is two twin brothers that have never feuded, have always been cool. You better give me something to work with after this. Like, don't just give me that one shock at SummerSlam. Because it did. It shocked me. I said, oh, shit. But, yeah, we need something Friday to follow up on that, I think.
yeah, and as long as they do it to where it makes sense, then I'm cool with it. I think SummerSlam in general, it was fine. Like that match was fine. The Brock Cody match was a lot better than that was the one match that I didn't really. I was just like, I don't care. You know what I mean? And then I watched it, and they told a really good story, and I was really happy that I watched it.
Right.
It was a lot of, spoiler alert, but it was a lot of Cody getting pummeled, and then finally Cody coming back. But that's what you expect from a Brock Lesnar match.
Uh-huh.
And the one match that I was really disappointed in, and a lot of people will disagree with me because a lot of people hold such disdain for Ronda Rousey for some reason. I don't even know why.
I do. Well, it's probably because she shit talked the fans the way she did.
Yeah,
Don't
okay,
shit
that's
talk the
fair.
locker room.
See, I didn't. I typically don't know. Like, I don't read the sheets too much.
Well, she's a shithead.
Okay, fair. All right, fair enough. But the match itself, I didn't like. I think that they could have sent her off in a better way.
Right.
And I think that it also, because I'm a really big Shayna Baszler fan, and I think that they should have done that as an actual match and
Mm-hmm.
not like the whole MMA thing that they tried to do,
Right.
because it just didn't translate over. And people were kind of like, that was, and it turned into something that could have been super really cool
Mm-hmm.
into everybody's bathroom break.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like they did so well with the hype packages, even though like they pulled the trigger out of nowhere and this match has got to happen because Ronda's leaving. The hype packages actually got me into the match, and I don't like Baszler or Rousey, honestly. They don't do anything for me, but I was actually interested after the hype packages and everything they put out. And you could tell, like you said, the crowd wasn't into it, but still it was a fun little match. But yeah, I can get why somebody that is a fan of Rousey would say, well, that's it. Damn, it's over. Okay.
And it was that wasn't even my least favorite match of the night.
Okay, what was the least favorite?
Logan Paul and Ricochet.
Ah,
And,
okay.
and it's not even Ricochet's fault because I love Ricochet, but I just detest Logan Paul so much. Not as a wrestler because he's talented,
Right.
but just as a person.
I get it.
Like, and Ophidian was telling me that the other day. He's like, he's like, I can't. He's like, I hate the fact that he's so good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't like the person either. It's everything I stand against, but shoot, whenever he started doing MMA and boxing, I was like, oh, this guy's good. Like, everybody hates him and he's good. I can get behind this. So, I don't know. I kind of like the guy in wrestling. I ain't ever going to give him $1, I promise you that. Like, he needs
Yeah,
it. He
yeah,
needs
he
Smoothie
doesn't
Lou's
need it.
dollar.
Yeah, all the Prime Energy drinks actually he made because after those get taken down, because I guess those are like they have so much caffeine in them that they're trying to pull them.
Oh, boy. Well,
Yeah, they'll have to repurpose them, and then I don't know, man. I'm just not. Ever since that whole Japanese forest thing, like I've just been like, who is this schmuck?
right.
You know what I mean? Like, screw you, dude. Like,
I get it. I
but man,
do.
the match was good. I had no problems with the match. They were doing some cool stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, Logan Paul is really athletic, which pairing him up with Ricochet
Mm-hmm.
was a good idea. But those guys, like Ricochet, spoiler alert again, Ricochet not going over, that didn't make any sense to me because Ricochet needs to go over.
Yeah. Like, he
Like
does have some
Logan Paul
momentum at the
doesn't need it.
moment.
Yeah, and Logan Paul doesn't need to go over because he has all these outside
Mm-hmm.
things outside of wrestling, and Ricochet, he's wrestling. So having a win for Logan Paul does nothing for Logan Paul, and it does nothing for Ricochet. It's like you build your talent because Logan Paul is going to get tired of doing whatever.
Yeah.
And he's just going to leave and go off and do other stuff. He's like the Elon Musk of wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, but Ricochet is going to be there because he's a lifer. He's a wrestler.
Yep.
And
I think WWE kind of has it in their heads that wins and losses don't matter. Well, Ricochet was in there with Logan Paul. That's the rub he needs because, I mean, we can go to Io Sky winning the belt after. I mean, there's been all kinds of stuff lately that I'm just like, what in the world? It's just about the moment and not the record, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and that's the big difference, like you said, between WWE and AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Because the AEW tends to not just do things for the spur of the moment. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They have match. I see as WWE is they cater to non-wrestling fans.
Yeah.
And then AEW caters towards the independent wrestling fans and the Japanese wrestling fans but there's a void that's left that's for people like me that I need something in between the two.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I dig that. I'm glad we're going down this road. Have you ever checked out MLW?
I've seen a little bit of MLW and I do like it.
Yeah, because you got the glitz and the production of WWE. It looks nice. And then you have your AEW storytelling and sports-based. That they present it like an MMA fight, honestly. Maybe check out some more MLW if you ever have time in the world.
I need to. The Von Erich boys are still there, aren't they?
I haven't seen them in a minute. They might not be. I don't know what those guys are up to. What's the Von Erich boys up to? Leave it in the comments.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them. I don't know. Where'd they go?
Yeah, because those guys are really good. And wasn't Jacob Fatu over there?
Yeah, that's the one promotion he is making dates for and not ripping off the promoter for money and skipping town. I said it. Yeah, I'm glad we brought that up. Fatu was my dude, and he is steady ripping folks off left and right.
Oh, boy.
He ripped off a charity event a couple weeks ago. It made the news. He kept the money
shit.
for a charity show.
Dude, that's messed up.
Jacob Fatu. The good things the bloodline, I'm air quoting over here, is doing. And Jacob Fatu out there soiling the name.
Well, if he would have played his cards right, he could have joined that whole storyline eventually.
Yeah, but
that's not going to happen now.
Well, hell, WWE don't care if you're ripping off Joe Schmo. They'll probably, So,
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Hey, did you hear they quit pushing Riddle because of all his personal issues?
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that.
Well,
I'm not a huge Riddle fan anyway, so I was okay with it.
Right. I get it.
It's not that he's not good, man, because I want to give these guys credit. If I don't like them, it's not because they're not good at what they do. Mm-hmm. That would be a really crappy thing for me to say, because Riddle can do some really cool stuff. I've seen him do cool stuff in Evolve. I saw him do a lot of cool stuff in WWE. Mm-hmm. But the whole surfer bro, surfer bro high as marijuana, the drug. I don't get it.
Right.
It doesn't resonate with me at all. So I'm just like, okay, bro, bro, it's okay. I'm like, tone it back a little bit and you might be all right.
And the whole leaving your wife and kids over some chick you just met thing kind of.
Yeah, that's a little weird. That's a little messed up too.
I'm not living his life. Maybe he's fighting all the time, but still, I got a wife and kids, and I know my kids would miss me, so fuck all that.
Yep.
Me too. Man,
I've been married for 20 years, man. So I don't know how anyone could do that.
God bless you. Be like Fantastico. Hold down a marriage. Shit.
I think that's more patience from from my wife than me.
Well, fair enough. I got to give mine due too. You know what I did? Let's talk about me being a shithead. I'll put one on myself here. Last Saturday, RSW in Wheeling. Gotta go. Can't miss the show. But it's my middle daughter's birthday. I missed my daughter's birthday. I mean, I was there to tell her happy birthday in the morning, but I missed the rest of the day. So yeah. Have you come to one of those moments yet? You're on the road a lot. Have you had missed any birthdays or holidays yet?
Not yet, because I know that I have to plan stuff around it, because like I said, if I miss stuff like that, my wife will kill me.
Yeah.
There will be no you won't be able to find the body. Like,
Yeah. Like, my wife gets it, and she's all for it because she knows how much I love this shit. So she was cool about it, and I made sure to get my daughter, like, a super awesome present.
fair.
So like, you got a big opportunity. You're getting a special guest gig on Joe Bob, but it's your daughter's birthday. What happens?
Yeah, yeah. I totally see what you're saying.
I
Totally see
mean,
what you're
and
saying.
not to say that me making an RSW show was the same as being on Joe Bob. That's definitely not the same type of deal. I'm just throwing you the most extreme hypothetical I can think of.
Yeah, I think that in that case, like, it's something that's like career changing and
Mm-hmm.
like a once in a lifetime thing. I think that there's a little bit of understanding that would come to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. Like, I've missed stuff before, not much, because I always try to make sure that I don't. But sometimes shit happens. It's like it's my mom's birthday coming up, and I have to be in Vegas. You know what I mean? Like, I told him, and then my mom has to miss her birthday to come stay at my house to take care of my kids while my wife and I go out there for that whole thing. So
Well, let's get into that whole thing. You got some busy days ahead of you. You're heading to Vegas, then you're heading my way. Tell the folks at home what Gringo Fantastico's got coming up.
all right, so I have a lot of stuff coming up. So next weekend, or is it next week? Yeah, next weekend, not this coming, but the one after.
Okay.
On the 18th, 19th, and 20th, I believe, I will be in Indianapolis, Indiana, with Lloyd Kaufman with Troma, doing at a con for Horror Hound Weekend. So
Nice.
I'll be there with him for that, and it's fun when you get Lloyd and me together because it gets really crazy.
I can imagine. I want to see that footage.
Yeah, it'll be. I'll get some footage. One of my buddies, one of my the associate producer for this season's, he's going to be there too, so I'll have him
Sweet.
take some video. Um, and then let's see, I've got a little bit of time off. I have the Troma release party at the end of August, which is also my birthday, so I'm going to be nice and sauced for that.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good.
I don't drink. I don't drink that much, but on my birthday, I break out the absinthe, and I
There you
don't
go.
care. Like,
Oh, the absence, huh? Okay.
yeah, I break out the absinthe, and I don't care.
Ooh. I can't party with you. You have fun.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, not a lot of people will go with the absinthe. Like, I'll be like telling my buddies, like, all right, take a shot because I don't want to drink alone, and they'll be like, dude, we can't drink this stuff. We'll be on our ass, and I'm like, I've already had 5. Liquid cocaine.
I don't think I've even tried it before.
It's strong. It's pretty strong shit.
All right. One of these days.
One of these days. And then see after that, then I'm going to be editing a lot, and then October 6th, 7th, and 8th, I was invited out to be at Joe Bob's Jamboree in Las Vegas.
Nice.
So I'm not an official part of it, but I was invited, so I will be there. Kind of just, I go out there and I'll help them out a little bit, and I'll be the director of photography. One of the directors of photography for the show is one of my really good friends, so I'll go out there and help him out too if he needs my help, and or if they whatever they need. But I usually go out there and then I get in there with the fans and party with the fans and of Joe Bob's, which kind of cross over into my fan base too, so it works out. It's like,
yeah,
I'm hitting both at the same time, which is pretty cool.
No doubt.
And then I'll get home from that, and then the day after I get back from that, I've got to go to Huntington, West Virginia, at the it's at the I just had that in my head. It's at the Hilton, the DoubleTree.
DoubleTree.
Yeah, at the Hilton for VoidCon.
Okay.
Which is and I'll be there doing they asked me to come out and do a live for the first time ever. I'll be doing a live episode recording of my show, which will eventually go on Troma Now.
How cool.
And I'll be they specifically asked me to host Redneck Zombies. So
my favorite.
One of my favorite parts about going to West Virginia is that projector guy that's in my show.
Mm-hmm.
is a actual member of the Hatfield family.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of the Hatfield and McCoy feud.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's one of the Hatfields, like legit. And
Really?
so that's his old stomping ground. So it's gonna be fun to be there with him and my crew and stuff. And yeah, so that's crazy. And then we've got, oh gosh, after that, it's kind of it slows down during the holiday months.
Yeah. Okay.
So and then that's when I'm doing all the pre-production because we were renewed again. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Congrats.
so I
Jeez,
don't
Louise.
know. Yeah, we got. I mean, basically, kind of the way it works. We're renewed. We can go and do another season with Troma if we want to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the plan right now, is to do a whole nother Troma season. So we'll see how that goes.
And I mean, it's fair to say, like, you're a staple of Troma Now. I mean, 3 seasons. That makes you a staple in my book. They don't have a whole lot of series, you know?
Yeah, not a whole lot of series. They have a hell of a lot of content on there, and they keep adding more and more stuff. So I have a whole
Yeah.
new list of shit that I can host next season. And the movies I'm hosting this season, which I can run down a little bit for you, but they're great. And I'm very excited. Like last season, I was really excited. This season's like, oh, these are even better.
Yeah.
And then minus Toxic Avenger because I just love that movie so much. But
Well, yeah.
everybody does. and then next season, like season 3, it's like, oh man, I'm going into some really fun shit in the Troma library, that I want to do. So
no doubt, there's so much fun stuff to play with. Let's talk about some of the films. Throw one at me.
all right, so we did just do the first film, which was Return to Nukem High Volume 2.
Okay.
And I did that because the season finale last year was Return to Nukem High Volume 1. And
so you followed that up. Okay.
yeah, as a completionist, I have to do that. And plus it's the episode kind of takes place right when the other one ends.
Okay, cool.
So like, because at the end of the first season, if you haven't seen it, Francois I think he's dead finally, because Tromy the squirrel rips him apart.
Oh, nice.
And then he pops up in the back of my '68 Firebird, and I'm like, son of a bitch. And then that's kind of how the new season starts, is in the Firebird.
Nice. Okay. See, I got to renew my Troma Now. I've been slacking. No doubt. And I love part 2 to Return to Nukem High. I love it so much better than the first for some reason. I don't know why, but
it's so much more of a cartoon than the first one was.
Yeah, good point.
And I'm as you've seen my show, I'm a huge cartoon nut. Like most people compare my show to like Space Ghost, the one where he would interview people.
Right
Space
on.
Ghost, Coast to Coast.
Coast to Coast. Yeah.
That's what people kind of compare my show to a lot of the time. Just in a weirder way, I suppose. I don't know how weirder, but yeah, we're doing, like, we've got the next episode. We have Jonah Ray from Mystery Science Theater popping on, and
Nice.
we're going to be hosting the film Graduation Day from 1981.
Okay.
And it has like Vanna White in it when she was really young, and it has Linnea Quigley's in it too in one of her first flicks. But we're going down the list, man. I've got, like, we're hosting Mother's Day, and we're hosting The Children from 1980, which is just a fucking fun movie, dude. Like, it's so fun. And this is the cool thing, is I got special permission from Lloyd for my season finale this year. I will be hosting #Shakespeare Shitstorm.
Oh shit! So okay.
So
I've been waiting
on
for
the
that
finale.
forever.
Yep. So that episode will come out in March, I believe.
Okay.
And it'll be I think it's the debut of #Shakespeare Shitstorm on Troma Now.
I wanted to ask, but I didn't want to ask.
No, it's official now. Yeah, Lloyd said. Actually, it's kind of cool because I wanted Lloyd to come on that episode, and he just schedules and stuff were going on, it wouldn't work out. So he told me to fly out to him. So I ended up flying into New York and filmed a scene with Lloyd at the Troma building.
Sweet.
And it was pretty fun, dude. Like, it was classic Lloyd, but it was more Lloyd Kaufman than Uncle Lloydie. So that was kind of cool, because I always
side of him, huh? That's rare.
Yes, but that's the thing with me and Lloyd. I never get Uncle Lloydie.
No,
Like
you want
the
that,
whole
huh?
time, the whole time I've ever been around Lloyd, except for like once when I met him in 2006,
Mm-hmm.
for the first time. He was very Uncle Lloydie, doing the whole fan service thing. But since I've been in like contact with him on a professional basis, and also friendship because he and I are friends, um, I always get Lloyd Kaufman. So it's fun. It's interesting because people tell me the story about Lloyd's crazy, he's running around, but I get funny Lloyd, but I get Lloyd, and there is two very separate sides to Lloyd Kaufman.
Yeah, you lucky
Sometimes
guy.
they blend together.
Right, I can imagine. I admire the hell out of that dude. I've been waiting on this movie forever. I've always loved his films. I've went on. I think on the last podcast I went on about what a blessing he is. Honestly, to film like the independent film, the man saved us all.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people that have come from Troma that are such mainstays now in the entertainment industry
Yep.
because that's where Trey and Matt from South Park came from, and that's where James Gunn, who directed all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and he's the head of DC now he's a
Yep.
Troma guy. Hell, Kevin Costner's first movie was a Troma movie,
Yep.
was a Troma produced movie. There's just so much that's come from them, and they have been a huge supporter of indie film. Like that's the thing. Like you can make something, and you can probably get Troma to put it on Troma Now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And back in the day, it would get you in video stores. And I want to give props to his wife, too. Like, she's done a lot of political and charity and all kinds of work to make sure independent film can be done
Yeah,
the way it should be.
the commish, as he calls her.
Hell yeah, man. Rightfully so. She is.
And she was the commissioner of the New York uh, Film Commission.
Yeah, for
She was
quite a
the head of that
while.
for a while, yeah. And yeah, she's really Pat's really nice. She's a very nice person.
Good. Have you met his
Yeah,
daughters?
I've not met his daughters. I did go to his house, which
Mm-hmm.
was interesting because if you go to Lloyd's house, like anyone because Lloyd lives, he lives in Manhattan, so you walk to his house and you always know which house is his because it has a giant marble taxi on the outside, like on
Oh,
the on
yeah?
the, on the head of his building. So you just walk by and it's like all these really like pomp and circumstance neighborhood where like everyone's very like, and then you walk into the middle of them and there's this giant like marble or stone taxi just protruding from from above the front door, and I'm like, I looked at my director when we were there. I'm like, I think we're in the right place.
Good on you, Lloyd Kaufman.
Yeah, and he came out. It's like, let's get a picture together, right? And we get the statue, we get the thing in there, and I'm like, that's hilarious. That's
No
so
doubt.
funny.
That's crazy. So, if I would have told you 5 years ago you're going to be chilling with Joe Bob, chilling with Darcy, chilling with Lloyd Kaufman, what would you have told Spooky Lou?
Yeah, right.
Right?
I'd be like, yeah, sure, buddy.
Yeah.
Um,
What the hell happened?
I don't know, man. Like
Just the
we,
universe looking out?
and a lot of this is I did hustle a lot, kind of like you do too.
Right
You
on.
hustle a lot with your show, and I did do a lot of hustling. But also, like, and just like you, dude, I'm a nice guy, and when I meet people, I'm like, a lot of the time people are taken aback because a lot of the time they're like kind of guarded about
Right.
people. But like the me you get right here is the me you get. Like
Right.
I'm not like that. The only time I'm ever not like this is when someone has done something malicious,
Right on.
and then you don't want to know me because then I'm like, or if you fuck with my family, like that,
Yep.
but typically I'm just a super rad dude. But I don't know what happened. Like I met some really nice people, and I think that the turning point for it was back at it was 2 years ago
Mhm.
from last July at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater. They did the first Joe Bob's Jamboree,
Right on.
and I had been doing, I think it was my first season on YouTube, and I went out there and I just kind of mingled and met some cool people. I got to meet John Brennan, and I got to meet, I've met Joe Bob a few times before that, but
Mhm.
and I got to meet like just people involved and stuff, and Amy and Justin Martell, and a bunch of other people, and then I met some really awesome people, And I met the guy that I talked about before, Aubrey Hatfield, who is VHS Hatfield on Twitter. I met him and his wife, Lady VHS, there. That's where I met my projector guy. Like, I always had projector guy, like, as like a non-speaking entity on my show, except for the one time I twisted Darcy's arm and she did it.
Right, I remember. Yep.
But and then I met them, and then from then on, it just kind of started growing. And then Darcy has been a very big supporter of my show. It's really kind of nice if you go to the Troma Now and you watch the season premiere of last season on there, and you look at the comments, you see a post by Darcy the Mail Girl.
Hell yeah!
I saw that. I'm like, oh, that's so nice. But it just started. They started picking up, and then the thing they did this past May, like, I was like, holy crap, because they had my pinata, which I sent them, and they decided to make a whole episode around the pinata.
Okay.
And then I wrote a letter in, and I gave them some really silly stuff, and the hell, they spent so much. They spent like 20 minutes, talking about me and talking about, and I was taken aback because I was just like, holy shit, like, they didn't need to do that. Like,
yeah,
that wasn't something, that's airtime, man. That's very, valued airtime, and they spent that, messing with me, and I was like, holy crap, like, I can't believe that happened.
That's like the Friday Night SmackDown for horror fans, man. It really is. Like, it's an event. Like, people were watching it and talking online, so
yeah. And ever since that happened in May, it's just things have gotten. I mean, we had already started. We were shooting. I think we started shooting 5 days after that aired, which was super cool for morale going into the shoot. Like, everybody was like, oh, hell yeah. And a lot of, like, really high morale. We usually have high morale anyway because we're like a family, but
right.
Everyone was really hyped, and we really, like, took that extra step to do even better than what we did the year before. And I'd have to say, man, my entire crew is people that I met through the last drive-in being on Shudder. Like, just people that I met in the community. There's some of them nearby. A couple people that I met through Troma, and like, my director she's like my little sister, and I met her through Twitter because of the last drive-in. We talked back and forth, and then I had to go out to. Lloyd had invited me out. I think we talked about this before. He invited me out to the hashtag Shakespeare Shitstorm premiere in New York, and I'm like, I've never been to New York before, and it's like, man, that's a big ass city, and I have PTSD, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle that by myself, and or know where to go or anything, because it's just huge. And so I reached out to her, and I'm like, hey, do you want to house a luchador, or show a luchador around for a few days? You want to be my date at this, my platonic date at this event? And she's like, yeah, absolutely. So through that, she and I have just become, like, just tight, like.
And that's great.
So that, I mean, that's a really fun story. And that's the other thing, man. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, because my connection's all screwing up, so I don't know when I talked and when you talked, but we're good now. We're good.
Oh,
that's all spooky internet. That's fine. But no, it's crazy just you telling me that, the networking, and it reminds me of my journey in wrestling the past year. Like, one of my best friends in the world I haven't even known for a year yet, and
wow.
Yeah, and he's co-hosting the podcast with me and stuff, Marcus Twist, and it's
That's
crazy.
So cool.
Yeah, can you kind of compare and contrast for me, like, a wrestling locker room compared to you guys shooting a episode of Gringo Fantastico and your crew there?
It's like with a wrestling event in a locker room, everybody in a perfect world scenario, everybody on that show is trying to work together to make it the best show that they can make it, right? Like everyone wants to go out and they want to critique each other's matches, give each other ideas, like go out and do this. You know, even when you have that crazy bastard Sabu running around hitting me with stuff, like you know, you talk and there's a camaraderie in the locker room for the most part. There's always a turd in the punch bowl,
Yeah.
but typically, like in a perfect scenario, and it's like that. It is a perfect scenario on my set.
Yeah.
Because everybody who's there, they want to be there. I mean, hell, dude, my crew comes from all over the country.
Yeah.
And other countries. Like I said, my director's from Brooklyn, New York. Last year's director was from Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
My director of photography is from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. So he comes down from Canada.
Oh wow.
I've got a guy from Baltimore. My podcast partner, Heel Turtleneck, right? He came in from Maryland just to help with the show. Like,
hell yeah.
And everybody came in, and I'm like, I don't have a big budget. You know, my budget is nothing, aside from like crowdfunding and like we had a couple of sponsors this season, which really freaking helped. But they knew I couldn't pay them, but I was able to, because the rest of whatever I didn't get from that, I self-financed. So what I took care of when I took care of the crew, that was all self-financed. So I made sure everybody got 3 square meals. I made sure that everybody, you know, had beer at the end of the night.
Hell yeah.
I made sure that, you know, everybody, like, we had snacks on set. We had everything on set. Everything was just great. And so that's kind of how it was. And people weren't, and my crew, they weren't expecting that. And they told me, like, well, can we help, can we help, like, do that? You don't have to pay for all this. I'm like, it's the least I can do. Like, you guys are out here helping me. Like, the least I can do is feed you and give you a place to stay. Because, like, the whole crew's crashed at my house.
Hell yeah.
And, and then if, have beer around so that we can just kick back and chill after the long ass 17-hour shoot days, man.
Shoo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's why we shot it so quick, because it was roughly, we would get up about 8 a.m. and we wouldn't end until late nights. A couple of nights we got out early. A couple of nights when I had guests come in, when Hellbender came in, they all stayed and shot like B-roll and things like that on set, and then I had to go pick up Hellbender from the airport and make sure they were taken care of, and the same with Ophidian and other people. So it's just a family, man. Like, and so I guess that's how I went on a bit of a tangent there, but
that's fine. No, it's very interesting. You got me all ears.
It's a film set is weird, and it's really new for me too, because I've only been on a set like this. This is like the second season. Like, before that I did like my own stuff and really small shoots. Like I was in an AT&T training video once.
Oh, okay.
I was like an attacker I was an attacker in some kind of like parking garage. I played
in an AT&T video. Wait.
Yeah, in one of their training videos. And because I'm a big dude, like I just like they had this guy that was trying to get in his car, and this is a funny story too.
Yeah, I gotta hear this.
We were shooting, and I was also a grip on there because I was trying to help out. My professor in film school was doing the shoot, and
okay.
So we're in this parking garage shooting, and they're like, "You need to act scared to this guy. You need to act scared." And my role was to come on, kind of sneak up behind him where the guys get scared and kind of freaks out. And I walked up to the guy before we shot the take, and I go, "Do you trust me?" And he's like, "What?" I didn't know this guy.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, "What?" And I go, "Do you trust me?" He's like, I guess so. I go, "So when I do this to you, this is what I need you to do." So I was choreographing wrestling.
Uh-huh.
I go, "This is what I need you to do." So I go up behind this guy, and I told him not to panic, and he panicked anyway, which made it even funnier on camera.
Okay.
I went up behind him and snuck up, and I freaking snapped, like put him in like I was getting ready to German suplex him. And I didn't crash him down because he didn't know how to take that. So, but right. I lifted him off the ground like I was going to do a German. And then I kind of put him to the side, like the camera hit that and it cut there. And when I grabbed him, I put him to the side and set him down on his feet.
Right.
But yeah, he was, oh my God. He was like, oh my God.
The crew they get for those AT&T training videos, I tell you.
Yeah, I wasn't as scary at the time because I wasn't in my mat. Like I was wrestling at that time, but I wasn't I wasn't in my gear, which would have been even funnier.
Right. Well, we couldn't have the guy just shit all over himself, so.
Yeah, it was a fun night, dude. But that shoot was, holy shit, that shoot was, I think we were out there 18 to 20 hours.
For the AT&T deal?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, out there. We had a guy, oh my God, we had a guy that couldn't remember his lines.
Mm-hmm.
And it took us like 6 hours just to get this guy to cut like basically a simple promo.
Uh-huh.
Like, dude, do I really have to coach you on cutting a promo?
Right,
like,
for the AT&T instructional video.
And I looked over at my teacher. I'm like, do we have a teleprompter or something we can give this dude? Because he just ain't gonna get it.
Oh man.
Eventually, he got it. After all of us are like, I don't know how many. Like, our eyes were rolling so much. I'm surprised they didn't get stuck.
Right.
Especially since the guy was supposed to be a professional actor and he couldn't do it.
Supposed to be. Did you have any snafus filming this season of Fantastico? I mean, not necessarily an actor messing up, but any challenges you had to overcome?
No, everything went fairly smoothly. I know when Hellbender was there, some weird stuff started happening on set, which was, we just chalked it up to it being Hellbender and them being awesome.
What kind of weird stuff we talking?
Like they would be on set and like we'd be talking about something and then like stuff would fall off the wall.
Yeah.
Or like stuff would like move and shift. Like, and we were just, what is going on? And I think I told Toby about that too. If I didn't, I need to tell her about that. But on the episode, I actually make a joke about it. So when that episode comes out in October, because that's Hellbender's, like, when you'll have to listen for that line because the gag, I'm not going to throw away the gag we do because it's an ongoing gag through the whole episode.
Right on.
But I'm just like, I look up and I'm like, they say something and I'm like, well, weird shit's been happening the whole time you guys have been in here, so who knows? Like,
man, I can only imagine. So how's the missus feel about all these strangers coming from out of town and staying at the place? Because I ran into a similar situation recently, and my wife wasn't too thrilled about some strange wrestler coming and staying at my house that we'd never met in real life. So,
well, luckily, it's people that I've met. You know, they don't stay here unless I've already met them. You know what I mean? So I think I never had met, like, that was the one person. My podcast partner, I never had met him in person. We had only just done the podcast together.
Okay.
And I had him come out. I was like, just, if you want to come out, dude, don't get a hotel, just crash in my place. And I had never met him in person before. And he got here, and dude, we were just like brothers. As soon as he got here, dude is so amazingly awesome. It's a nice guy. Gets along with my family. Like, it's very polite.
Seems like a good dude. Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, he's a really good dude. And the Canadians, so my two Canadian buddies, same thing. I only had met them online. I had a couple of my director of photography. I talked to him and the other guy, script supervisor at the time, and I had only talked to them on Zoom chats. And they came out and they showed up, and my wife and I were out with the director. I took the director out to lunch, and we didn't know they were going to get there so early. So they show up, and they're kind of short. Both of them are kind of short, right?
Right.
And my kid is not. Okay. Right. My kid, I'm 6'1", and my kid towers over me. My 15-year-old, he's 6'4".
Wow.
Already. Yeah, and they said he's probably gonna be like 6'7", 6'8" by the time he's done growing.
What?
Yeah, and he hates basketball, which is like, God damn it.
Yeah, man, you don't even have to like it. Just go get that easy money.
Yeah, just set it in the net. You don't even have to know how to shoot it. Just get close.
Yeah, you can walk down the court and your teammates can bring it down to you.
Right. And but yeah, so they shoved to the front door, and my kid opens the door. It's this giant hulking like 14-year-old at the time, and they're just like, is Fantastico? They said my real name, but they're like, is Fantastico there? And he's like, no. He's out with us. They're out doing something, and so like they were so scared. And my kid lacks the social skill as Mama Boucher would say on The Waterboy.
Right.
And he didn't like, because I had told him before we left, was like, if these guys show up, it's okay, let them in, it's fine. My kid is like, just told him, was like, no, they're not here. Just slammed the door in their face. So they were like, we were just standing here. We didn't know what to do. So, and they messaged me, and I'm like, yeah, we'll be there in about 10 minutes. And that was really, really funny.
Your kid big-legged him.
He did. Like, he does that, man. He's pretty, when he wants to be, he's a very sweet-natured kid, but he likes to roll over people. He looks like Omos compared to everybody else.
Yeah, hey, man, if I was that age and that size, I'd use it to my advantage.
Yeah.
I'm trying to come up in the world. I know everything. Now, you listen to me. Believe me. Hell yeah, man. Hey, we're in the final 10 minutes, Fantastico. It's kind of flown by.
Wow, yeah, it has. That's crazy.
Bouncing all over the place, but it's one of those days for me. I appreciate you bearing with me.
Yeah, no problem.
Sir, in the last 10 minutes, I ask everybody anything you want to promote, any socials, any merchandise, and any words of wisdom to the audience that you could share, or anything of that nature. I don't care. Whatever you want to put out there, put it out there.
Okay, no pressure.
Yeah.
All I can really just check out the new season of Fantastico Disasterpiece Theater on Troma Now. You can get the Troma Now app for $5 a month. It's not too bad. Your first month is free if you want to check out the show.
Yeah.
The whole first season's up on there, and you'll get a new episode of this season once a month on the first. And it's this, like I said, the season's killer, man. There's all kind of Lloyd's on, I think, the 2 episodes. And it's just really fun. Merch wise, like I have an Etsy, so if you want to look up Fantastico gear on Etsy, there's some shirts and stuff on there. We have like 3 or 4 new shirts that are being made right now, designs.
Nice. For
the new season, so those will be up pretty soon. I should have had them up, prior to the new season starting, but whatever.
Yeah.
Editing.
That. Yeah, priorities. I feel it.
Yeah. And check out the podcast when you're not listening to this awesome podcast.
Well, thank you.
It's Headlines, Headlocks, and Hijinks with myself and at Heel Turtleneck on Twitter.
And you're on all the platforms. You don't have to search you up like you do me. You can find you anywhere.
Dude, oh my gosh, I'm on Twitter, Real Fantastico. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I think of Real Fantastico on Facebook. You can find me on Blue Sky. I'm on that one too.
Well, see, I don't even know what the hell that is. So.
That's the one that everyone's migrating to away from Twitter when Elon bought it for some reason.
Okay.
I'm like, I'll just use both. It'll be fine.
Right.
And so I'm on there as Gringo Fantastico. So yeah, you can find me pretty much anywhere you wanna go.
And your podcast is everywhere is what I was referring to. Like you're on all the majors. Like me, I just put mine on YouTube and occasional one on Spotify.
Well, yeah, I mean we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Spotify. I think we're on a bunch of them. Like there's we're getting downloads from like weird ones like Antenna Pod. I've never even heard of that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Occasionally I'll throw it up on YouTube. I don't very often, but I probably should start doing that.
Yeah. Hey, YouTube's trying to push podcasts, so now be the time to do it.
Yeah, thanks for the advice, because I might do that. We have a few of them up there. And we do the podcast once a week, so it usually pops up somewhere. It depends on my editing time schedule, because I edit the podcast too. So it's, yeah. So it's, yeah, we're there. So it'll usually pop up Friday, anytime between Friday and like the following Monday. It depends on when I get it up, but it's usually there. And unless I have to take a break, and then sometimes we'll skip a week or two, and but I always try to make sure I announce that on the podcast at the end. But yeah, you can find that. You can find Headlines, Headlocks, and Hijinks on pretty much anywhere you want to find podcasts.
Yeah. Find it at Big Lots if you look hard enough.
Yeah. I think that's everything. Oh, the Void Con, like I said, we talked a lot about that. Huntington, West Virginia on Friday the 13th. Yeah, I know, right? That's even crazier. We'll be there doing the live episode of the show. So if you want to come down there at the Doubletree Hilton, I actually remembered it this time.
There you go.
And that's pretty much it. I don't think I have anything else.
Man, that's enough. My goodness. You got plenty going on.
I know. Maybe one day I'll actually make money doing it.
That'd be crazy.
Or at least get the show paid for itself.
Hey, bro, you know I'm in the same boat. I feel it. If I can get above water, I'm happy. I ain't even got to be far ahead.
Yeah, exactly, right? I'll take a Coke. Like, if I could get, like, a soda or something for my work, I'd be happy.
Hey, I tell you what, when I leave a wrestling show, I get all the leftover hot dogs, all the leftover pizza. I just got a bag of chips last night. I said, well, thank God. Thank you, Tim. Thanks for the bag of chips.
Dude, and also before we go, I want to congratulate you on all the success you're having with the show.
Thank you, sir.
With all the stuff you're doing, man, like, you're killing it. And every time I see something, I just get a smile on my face because I was there. I was there when you started it.
Likewise.
It's very cool. It's very cool to see.
We watch each other grow and continue to make each other happy, I guess. Because, likewise, whenever the Fango article came out, I said, oh, shit.
I know. Yeah, I said that too.
I'm sure. So, yeah, man, I'm telling the audience all the time. Go out there and live your dreams. If you're a decent person, halfway decent, like me or Gringo, and there's other decent people out there, too. That's what we're learning. You never know where you'll meet them. And then they'll say, well, you're decent and I'm decent. Let's do something decent. And then you're doing all kinds of crazy shit before you know it. Ain't it the truth?
That is the truth. That is the hardcore truth.
No doubt. It's been another fun one, Gringo. I can't thank you enough. I've been bouncing all over my words, but you've stuck in there with me. The internet's screwed you up a couple times, so we'll probably screw up what you said and you'll get canceled or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, so that's fine. Whatever.
Whatever.
But I appreciate you letting me come on, man.
Letting you? I said, please come on my podcast. I had to message him 572 times.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Finally.
I said yes the first time.
He did.
That's awesome.
I'm just making shit up for this.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Freaking amazing.
Yeah, that's what we do. We'll have him back. In the meantime, get on Troma Now. You heard it. You can get it 30 days for free. I think, heck, you can fire out every episode of the season 1 for that. Then pay for a few months. Give Troma Now the money. Let them know Gringo sent you. Keep watching WrestleRoni. You know what we got coming up next, Gringo Fantastico?
What's that?
We got some pirates coming up next episode. I don't know how I did it, but I got 2 different pirates at the same time.
Oh, jeez. You need to have PCO call in too.
Oh my God! And I've tried. He just don't answer. He's not like the other ones that ask me for money. He just don't answer. So I prefer that approach. I tell you, Mantar asked me for $150.
No shit.
Mantar wanted $150. Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know, man. It would have been worth it, I think.
I could have got his last interview.
Ooh,
I said it. Okay. Let's end it on that note. Be kind and treat each other with respect. Treat the dead with respect on that note. I love you. Watch Gringo Fantastico. Listen to the podcast. Go out there and live your dreams. It's been another one for the books. Spooky Lou! Oh my God, I'm excited again. Another wonderful WrestleRoni for me and for you. That was the old Spooky Lou voice kind of cracking out there a little bit. Anyway, I'm being goofy because I've got friend of the show, a friend of mine, a friend of yours, host of Headlines, Headlocks, and Hijinks. Man, that's the worst intro I've ever done. God help me. I got too excited. Oh my, what's going on with us? I don't know. You don't want to know. Spooky Lou, another wonderful WrestleRoni for me and for you. I'm excited. You should be excited. We got Gringo Fantastico, host of Headlocks, Headlines, Headlocks, and Hijinks. What the hell's the name of your show, Gringo?